In the previous lesson, we went through the entire Ospf neighborship formation process. In this lesson, we will troubleshoot some misconfigurations that prevent neighbor adjacencies. In some cases, you may want to shut down Ospf process on a router. As a result, the routers is transitioned to the down state and no Ospf packets are sent or received. Let's shut down Ospf process on IT LiveSkill Router 1 to see what happens. To verify if the Ospf process got shut down on a router, at the router private mode, we issue the command show run, then we filter for the section router, then hit enter. To turn on the Ospf process on a router, at the router configuration mode, we issue the command router Ospf, then we provide the process number, then hit enter. It will bring us into the router configuration mode, then we issue the command no shutdown, then hit enter. Here we are at the private mode of IT LiveSkills Router 1. Let's issue the command show IP Ospf neighbor, then hit enter. As you can see, router 1 has no neighbor. Let's verify the Ospf configuration by using the command show run and filter for the section router, then hit enter. As you can see, the Ospf process got configured but is shut down. Let's go to the configuration mode and go to the router Ospf process number 1, then issue the command no shutdown, then hit enter, and then X out of this and verify the neighborship. Again, show IP Ospf neighbor, then hit enter. As you can see, router 1 now has formed the neighborship with router 2, and router 2 is a BDR, and it also formed the neighborship with router 3, and router 3 is a DR. When Ospf process is running on a router, but it is not enabled on interfaces, especially the interface that connects to neighbor routers, then the neighborship will not be formed on that interface. Let's remove Ospf process on the interface F00 on IT LiveSkill Router 2 to see what happens. To verify if the Ospf process is enabled on an interface of a router, at the router private mode, we issue the command show run, then we filter for the section router, then hit enter. To enable Ospf process on an interface of a router, we first need to go to the router configuration mode, then issue the command router Ospf, then we provide the process number, then hit enter. It will bring us into the router configuration mode, then we issue the network command that include the interface that we want to enable Ospf process for the area, then hit enter. Here we are at the private mode of IT LiveSkills Router 2. Let's issue the command show IP Ospf neighbor, then hit enter. As you can see, router 2 formed the neighborship with router 4, but not with router 1 and router 3. Let's verify the Ospf configuration by using the command show run, then we filter for the section router, then hit enter. As you can see from the network command, we see that the Ospf process is enabled on the interface S22, but not the interface F00. Let's go to the configuration mode. Then go to the router OSPF process number 1 and issue the network command. And you can see this network command to include the interface F00 of the router 2 for area 0. Then we hit enter. Now we need to X out this and verify the neighborship again. Show IP OSPF neighbor. And you can see now router 2 form the neighborship with router 1, router 3, and router 4. Let's enable OSPF process on the interface E23 of IT Life Skills router 3, but put it in area 1 to see what happened. To put the interface back into the correct area, first at the configuration mode, we issue the command router OSPF, then we provide the process number, then hit enter. It will bring us into the router configuration mode. Here we can remove the network command by issuing no in front of the network command with the wrong area, then hit enter. Now we can re-enter the network command with the correct area, then hit enter. As you can see in the console of IT Life Skill Router 3, after the wrong area is configured on the interface E23, IT Life Skills Router 3 received mismatch area ID from both Router 1 and Router 2. Now let's verify the neighborship on router 3 by using the command show IP OSPF neighbor, then hit enter. As you can see, router 3 has no neighbor. Let's verify the OSPF configuration by using the command show run, and we filter for the section router. As you can see, this network command put the interface E23 into area 1, which is the wrong area. Now let's fix this by going to the configuration mode, then go to the router OSPF process number 1. Here we can remove the network command by putting no in front of the command that put the interface E23 into the area 1. Then we put it back into the area 0, then hit enter. Then we X out this and verify the OSPF configuration again, show run, and filter for the section router. As you can see, this network command put the interface E23 in area 0. Now let's verify the neighborship on router 3. Show IP OSPF neighbor, then hit enter. As you can see, router 3 form the neighborship with router 1 and router 2. Everything looks correct. As you may remember, the router ID of IT Life Skills router 1 is 1.1.1.1. Now let's configure the router ID for IT Life Skills router 3 is also 1.1.1.1 to see what happens. Here are the basic commands that we use to troubleshoot and fix the issue with duplicate router ID. From the console screen of IT Life Skills Router 3, we see that after we configure it with the router ID 1.1.1.1, it detected the duplicate router ID from router 1 on the interface E23. Let's verify the neighborship on IT Life Skills Router 3 by using the command show IP OSPF neighbor, then hit enter. From the show command, we see that router 3 formed the neighborship with router 2 but not router 1. Let's verify which router ID is being used by router 3 now. Show IP protocol, then hit enter. From the show command, we see that router 3 is using the ID 1.1.1.1. Now let's verify the OSPF configuration by using the command show run and then filter for the section router. We see that router 3 is configured with the router ID 1.1.1.1, which is duplicate because it is the same as the one configured on router 1. That is the reason why it's never formed the neighborship with router 1. Let's fix this by going to the configuration mode and go to the router OSPF process number 1, then hit enter, and we enter the router ID 3.3.3.3, then hit enter. As you can see, it tells us that we have to use a command clear IP OSPF process for the router ID command to take effect. However, let's try with the shutdown command to shut down the OSPF process and re-enable it again by using the no shutdown command. Here we will re-enable it with the no shutdown command to see what happened. And you can see it only formed the neighborship with router 2, so we have to X out of this by using the end command to go back to the private mode to issue the command that it tells us to do, which is clear IP OSPF process, so that the router ID that we have just configured to take effects. Now we need to hit enter and say yes, and let's verify the neighborship on router 3 again by using the command show IP OSPF neighbor, then hit enter. As you can see, router 3 now from the neighborship with router 1 and router 2. Everything looks good. As you may remember, with OSPF, the default hello timer is 10 seconds and the default dead timer is 40 seconds. Let's configure the hello timer is 5 and the dead timer is 20 on IT Life Skill Router 3 to see what happens. Here are the commands that we use to troubleshoot the hello and dead timer mismatch. First of all, let's verify the neighborship on router 3 by using the command show IP OSPF neighbor, then hit enter. As you can see, currently router 3 has no neighbor. Now let's verify the hello timer and dead timer configure on the interface ES23 of router 3 by using the command show IP OSPF interface E23, then hit enter. So the hello timer currently configured is 5 seconds and dead timer is 20 seconds. To view the detailed activities happen to the hello message on the interface ES23 of router 3, let's use the command debug IP Ospf hello, then hit enter. Ospf hello debugging is on. As you can see from the debug command, we see that it received the hello message from router 1 for area 0 on the interface E23, but it detected the mismatched hello parameters. The dead timer received is 40 seconds, but configure is 20 seconds. And the hello timer received is 10 seconds and configure is 5 seconds. Similarly, it also received the hello message from router 2 for area 0, and it also detected the mismatched hello parameters. The dead timer received is 40 seconds and configure is 20 seconds, and the hello timer received is 10 seconds and configure is 5 seconds. That is the reason why router 3 will not become the neighbor with router 1 or router 2. Now let's reconfigure the hello and dead timer. First, we need to go to the configuration mode, then go to the interface E23, then hit enter. It will bring us into the interface configuration mode. Then we issue the command IPOSPF hello interval, and then we provide the interval is 10 seconds, and then hit enter. And then we issue the next command IPOSPF dead interval, and we provide the dead interval is 40 seconds, then hit enter. Now before configuration, we should stop the debugging by issuing the command undebug alt. Then go to the configuration mode and go to the interface is23 and issue the first command IPOSPF hello interval, and then we put it 10 seconds. Then we issue the next command IPOSPF dead interval and make it 40 seconds and hit enter. Now let's X out of this and issue the command show IP OSPF neighbor to verify the neighborship on router 3. As you can see, router 3 now form the neighborship with router 1 and router 2. Let's sum up our lesson with the keynotes